Welcome back. I'm Sheila. We're aging joyfully. And one of my biggest joys, as you know, if you've seen me at all, is I really do love to read books. And I really thought about being a booktuber, like a full on all the time, reading the books and just talking about books my whole life. But it's just not realistic. I have too many hobbies, too many fun things I'm doing, too many priorities, just too many things going on. I could never just read all day. And sometimes I think that would be fun, but I enjoy other fun things in life. So reading all day, every day, all the books that these amazing booktubers read, I could never do that. So I'm just throwing in a taste of it on my channel because I will commit to at least one book a week, which is what, about 52 books a year. And, you know, probably more, but I will commit to at least one book a week. That is joyful for me, fun for me, something I really look forward to in the evenings when I am getting ready for bed. So with that being said, I wasn't going to do this March of the Mammoths book challenge because I'm not officially just a booktuber, but it's kind of daunting. It's like it's got to be a book over 800 pages. And I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I don't want to push myself to read something, But then I thought about it again and thought, well, it is a good way to push yourself a little bit and get out of your comfort zone and read something that is maybe, hopefully, sitting on your shelf that you wanted to read and you've just been putting it off because it's a little bit intimidating to grab that huge book and read it. So last year I read The Count of Monte Cristo and I did love it, but the whole time I was reading it, I kept thinking about the movie, and I was waiting for that happy ending that never came. Sorry, spoiler alert. Um, so I was a little bit disappointed, and now that I know how it ends, I kind of want to go back and read it again, just because a fresh perspective with no preconceived ideals, notions of what I thought it should be. But I'm not going to go back and read it again this year, but maybe someday. So I have some books on my shelf that are 800 pages or more that I just haven't been able to bring myself to reading for a variety of reasons. They are intimidating. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And you have to really be in the mood, or you have to be challenged. The March Mammoth Challenge. Like, you have to maybe be challenged to get going on it. So that's why I'm doing this, is I'm like, okay, I can challenge myself. I don't have to read it in a week like I read most of my other books, but I do need to read it maybe this month. And I don't read multiple books at the same time. I know a lot of you do that, but I read one book and one book series at a time. I do not multi-read. I just can't do it. Why? I just can't do it. I like to focus. I like to just absorb what's really going on in that series or that book, and then be done with it and move on. So I can't do it. I know a lot of you can, but I just can't do that. So the book that I've been reading, and I feel like this is a series, it's a 4-part series, and I feel like it should count because it's quite large. And this last book is where I'm on, and it's 500 and something pages. It's 500 pages. So this one alone, book 4, is 500 pages. And I've been reading 1, 2, and 3 this last week and a half, and loving it. And to me, I haven't read epic fantasy because, again, it's kind of intimidating. But to me, not knowing what I was getting into in this series is kind of what I would consider, for my little self, epic fantasy. Holy epicness. I have loved it, but it's a big deal, and I highly recommend everybody read this series. It is it's the Ember and the Ashes series by Seba Tahir. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Love, love, love it. And I'm on the 4th book, and I won't be putting it down till it's done. So, but that doesn't count because the whole series is probably 600, 700 plus 500, 1200, at least 1200 pages for that series. Why can't that count? But apparently that is not the challenge. The challenge is one book with 800 pages or more. So I have two options. A lot of people are reading Anna Karenina this year. Not on my radar. I'm not in the mood for some Anna Karenina. And I'm not in the mood for a lot of these big books. I'm not in the mood, but I'm making myself get in the mood. So I only have two options that I'm even interested in. Okay, Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This is something I really did want to read. I've heard good and bad and up and down about it, but for the most part, I think I'm really intrigued by it. Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings. I will obviously, at some point in time, read this whole series. But that's my dilemma right now is it's intimidating. This whole series is so intimidating. Elliot Brooks over on her channel, they're doing a reread and a group read or a book read, a book club read. I don't know exactly what she's doing, but she's rereading. And it's one of her favorites of all times. I know it's everybody's probably favorite of all times. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to jump in. And I did buy this little paperback. That was a mistake. I will never read this little paperback, so I'm going to have to, it's on my shelf, but I'm going to have to get the big book if I'm going to actually jump into this and dig into this and read this. And I'm not doing that yet. I'm just not ready to commit, because once I commit to this, I got to read the whole series. That's how it goes. So it looks like what I'm going to be reading, and I am really excited about it. It's just semi-daunting because it's so big. It's 800 pages, but it's really on my list. I really, really, really wanted to read this. So this is going to be my March of the Mammoths read. So challenge you. Do you want to join? Do we all want to read a Mammoth book for March? I will take all of March to read. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Because the next series I was going to be reading was the Cruel Prince series, because I've heard that they're not that big. And I've heard they're great. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to zip through those. And it's going to be so much fun. And now I'm doing this. So I think what I'll be doing is I'll be finishing my Ember in the Ashes, because I'm on book 4. And I have to finish. I can't move on until I finish. But I'll get this done this weekend. I will get this done by the 6th or 7th of March. And then that is going to give me the rest of March to read this. Once I start reading something, I don't dilly-dally. I'm a pretty quick reader. I like to get, if it's intriguing, it's a page turner. It's hard to put down. I'm hoping that's what this is. So many people have said they loved it, and it's in that narrator style, so it is kind of a different style than other books I've been reading. So I'm intrigued. Some people, this was their favorite book of the year last year or the year before, whenever they read it. And so I'm just thinking, okay, it's going to be good. And then if it's not, you know me, I'm not going to finish it. If I'm hating it, if I've just come upon a theme or a topic or something that I can't handle, or it's just out of my wheelhouse or just not my vibe, I will be putting it down. But I have high hopes. So this is what I'm going to start reading in just a few days to get done with my March of the Mammoths this month. And let me know what your favorite Mammoth books are. Because I'll do this again next year. This is the first time I've ever done this or heard much about it or thought much about it. And like I said, I wasn't going to worry about it, but I thought, you know what? It's a simple thing to do. It might challenge me to get this done, move on, make it happen. So that's what I'm doing. And I would love to have more recommendations of books you love that are Mammoth, but they're worth reading. Because I know there's a lot that are worth reading. I really enjoyed My Count of Monte Cristo. I really enjoyed Tale of Two Cities. I think that's a big one too. But that's what I'm going to be reading now for my Mammoth book in March. Let me know what other Mammoth books I should put on my TBR. Most of my books are not more or 500 or 600 pages at the most. So I don't have a lot of mammoths on there. So let me know because I need to add to my TBR, especially for next year. And I love getting recommendations. You know that. So thanks for tuning in. Happy reading.